Hi. So I finally made the decision to put barrier blocks, and I know this looks like an obscene amount, to put barrier blocks up. Mine. Sit. Sit. Still mine. Sit. Okay. Um, yeah, that's fine. Anyway, to put barrier blocks up to keep the trees out of the fireworks range. And so I did that for a while yesterday, and then I got frustrated. Um, and then I got frustrated, and I'm like, well, why don't we start from the top and go to the bottom? It seemed to make sense. So that's what I'm doing now, because the top, obviously, you can see the trees are not grown yet. You might hear lawn equipment running in the background. I think they've finally gotten back to that really gross moment when you find out that there's fur on your food because you got 3 cats. Yeah. I moved the fur, now I'm gonna take my first bite. Um, anyway, this project is getting really big and out of hand, but it's like once the trees are all in, whether they're held back by the barrier blocks or not, it'll look really nice. Um, yeah, the only thing I think of that, doesn't look nice right now is that if you look through those trees, you can see the grass. So I'm gonna try to get the trees all in sometime today too. Um, I keep saying I have stuff to do today, and then I don't do it because I'm doing this project because I want to get this part of this project done. Like any other part, I could set aside for several minutes and not have to worry about it. This one, it's like it needs to be done. And Bobby is up there spying on the gardener, making sure they're doing a good job. Okay. So, those pancake on a stick, I think it's, Jimmy Dean makes, um, Jimmy Dean makes some, and apparently, Great Value at Walmart has, decided to make them too. And they're actually really good. I guess with the Jimmy Dean, they're wrapped individually, so you're like paying for the plastic. Because they are significantly more. Like Jimmy Dean is $7 or $8 or something like that. And Great Value was only like 4. But as far as I saw, they do not make the blueberry flavor. In case you really like the blueberry flavor. Not a paid advertisement for Jimmy Dean, Great Value, or Walmart, obviously. Um, since I don't like Walmart for, they didn't even, like that, like America says that you are innocent until proven guilty. And they didn't even, like give me a trial. They're supposed to take you into the office and talk to you about that. But they didn't. They're just like, end of the day, you're fired. They made me do my whole entire shift. Did not even tell me I was fired until later. I mean, like in an official capacity. I just got taken off the schedule, and it was bring in the work phone and vest and stuff at your convenience. Or maybe we got stuck with the vest. No, I think it was take the vest back. Whatever. Doesn't matter. It was a long time ago. Um, I'm not. I'm not over it, and I really don't want that to be the. Like if there was a reason for God to say no, you can't come to heaven. I don't want that to be it. I don't know what that was about. That was weird. Um, I got a problem. I got a kitty cat on my lap, and I need to go get some water. Um, I've been pretty much ignoring working on my story too, so you know that's not good because I wanted to get it done by my birthday in July, and I just don't know if that's gonna happen. I've got um at one point it was 187 pages to go. Okay, so we said 430 because I'm pretty sure it's more pages than what it is now. And then mine is 252, 178. I got 178 to go. Not that bad. And I gotta remember to get the uh play a game of Jewel on my phone. So I get those points, and then I'm getting the points for playing a console game today, right now as we speak. So yeah, it'll be great when yeah, it'll be great when I can say all done for the day. I couldn't remember if we needed to go back this way or yeah, we do. One more time. Okay. But then we're gonna have to go back, the way that we just did and start the other side of the street. I don't know if this is gonna work because um I don't know if this is gonna work because sometimes when you have something directly up against the track, it just doesn't work for some reason. Um, but it was gonna look really stupid with that right there because there would be the trunk and that's about it. I mean, there'd be the leaves, but it would look really weird. It won't look like a tree anymore. So, anyway, we decided to do it this way, and hopefully it'll work. And again, you might hear lawn equipment again. Um, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but I mean, the stream has heard it in times past. But that was on my one of my older headsets. So yeah, I don't know. is gonna bug me now. Okay, so I was one of those kids that, I kind of wanted to get my tonsils out, mostly because I would be able to not go to school that day, or, for a week or whatever. And, and, and I was just thinking about, okay, there's a Happy Days episode where Mr. Cunningham, I want to say his name's Howard, but I can't remember. Anyway, he had to get his tonsils out. And then there was another show or movie. It was probably a TV show though that I was watching, and I can't think of what it is. And unless it's Full House, but I don't think so because I haven't watched that in a long time. And I kind of remember watching this more recently than that. Anyway, it was I want to say two actresses, um and the one saying, that when you get your tonsils out, you can have all the ice cream you want, but it's not going to stay down. We'll put it that way. And it's going to bug me now because I can't remember for the life of me what that show is. That I was watching, or what, because it could have been something like Big Bang Theory, where, it might have been Big Bang Theory, and I don't watch that show, but there's clips of it on YouTube, where it's like 6 times where they were acting so goofy that, everybody burst into laughter or something like that, and, maybe that was one of the scenes. I don't know. It's the only thing I could think of, really. I'd kind of like to start making, um, little AI videos. Not the kind that, like steal stuff from the internet or anything like that. But, I want to make like little videos of parts of my stories. So then, like in this video, you can have chapter 1, and, we have that happen on Mondays, and then the week after that have chapter 2, something like that. Only problem is, I don't know if I'd be able to do Esperanza's party because Johnny's not nice to her. So yeah, and this is one of the one of the not interesting enough projects of this build, but if I want to finish the 4th of July fireworks before 4th of July, this is what I gotta do. In fact, the trees got, no, not, mm, yeah, I think it was the trees got so boring yesterday that I almost fell asleep. And they got that boring the day before yesterday, where I did fall asleep, so. But I had stayed up really late, so yeah. I'm trying, I'm trying to get this done, and there's only so much mountain here, so maybe I can get this part of it done today and start actually, doing chores again and stuff. Baby, I need to get up and get water. Sammy, Sam, honey. I missed my chance. He got down, and I didn't get the water. Because I'm trying to get this, I'm trying to get these barriers around here. And sometime today, I'm going to see if it actually works, and if it doesn't, then I'm going to have to fix it, and if it does, yay. I mean, like, if it doesn't work, I'm going to probably have to take, um, I'm either going to have to take out some trees, or I'm going to have to, just have them look all weird and stuff, where they only have leaves on 3 sides. Ah, okay. I keep wondering why it's all lit up over there. That's the spot that I got to that needs um, that needs more dispensers. So the lit up spots, I don't. The lit up spots, I don't need the dispensers, but the ones past that, I do. And what I'm gonna do is have dispensers on both sides of the road. Um, I'm gonna have dispensers on both sides of the road so they can go off at the same not go off at the same time, but have the left side. It only has one firework going off at that time, but have the okay. So here, see, they're in the middle there, but what we're doing is moving it to here, and then on the way back we can have like one, we can have one going the other direction too. It will not be going in the middle, like that. Okay. um See, this looks so cool though. There's no disruption in, there's no disruption in the, um, in how it looks. Oh, okay, we're fine. There's no interruption in how it looks. As soon as I switch from barrier blocks to anything else, as long as I don't have the barrier blocks highlighted, we're good. Seeing there's barrier blocks up here. At the at the yeah, at the front of the building. And we made them go all the way over there. So, wait, does that go all the way around? Oh yeah, that's pretty much what we just put in. But render distance for some reason doesn't want to show the whole 9 yards, but it'll do. Um, it's kind of annoying because when I get to that point, it'll be fighting with the trees again. But I'll get it done. You may wonder why I went around the corner, down the way, around the corner, and all the way that way, and that's because this is all the same direction, pretty much. Um, problem. Okay, so I got a tiny little problem. Very tiny. I was watching an Unspeakable video yesterday, and I got to a certain spot and needed to go to bed. I was just like, I'm done. Um, and I have no idea what part I left off on, but I think it was like half an hour in. Dang, that's gonna be a long time. Anyway, I think it was like half an hour in, but I'm gonna have to watch it all over again because I don't actually know. Okay, keep going. If I do it this way, it'll be a little harder, but oh, okay, we're past the part where we need to be. We need to be here. Anyway, if I do it this way, then maybe I can know where I'm supposed to be and and not put in extra. That was weird though, because that looks like it's over to the right more. And then that direction, it looks like it's off to the left. So weird. Oh, we finally got the lights off on the, Grammy Patricia's bed and breakfast over there. And hopefully we can get the moon to quit shining. but not have rain. I think I turned off the rain, and I got it to a certain point in um it got to a certain point in the night that it should look beautiful when we do the fireworks. This may be one of those years when I get done with it in, like, say, May, and I don't think I'm gonna get done with it in May, but because I still have all these trees and barrier blocks, and it just seems like a not happening goal right now. Um, but um, I think I might get done with it in May or June. I might get done with it in May. Yeah, if I, like, totally ignore everything else and try to get it done, but then I won't get my story done. So, it's like, what's more important to me right now? I actually think, um, those are the two most important projects I need to get done. Is this fireworks display because it's got a deadline, and my story because I gave myself a deadline. And I did tell you all to take it with a grain of salt. Um, I did tell you all to take it with a grain of salt because I give myself a deadline and it does not work. Um, because life happens, or I just don't feel like doing it that day or something. But I've been working on my story a little bit, just a tiny bit each day. Not whole pages or anything like that. But I am determined to finish that page today, at the very least. Uh, if I could get to page 60 today, it would be awesome. Because if I can get to page 60, then I can get to page 70 tomorrow, and then I can get to page 80 the next day, and page 90, and then I'll be up to 300. It'd be awesome. But I know me, I don't really like having that 10 pages in one day deadline because that is a lot. It's a lot to deal with. Especially, like, if you happen to have that day, um, like, Derek is famous for this. It'll be something like, uh-oh, and um, then he'll add some words to that because obviously you wanted more words in your sentence, you just didn't put them in there. Or, you put what the, and he might want to say is going on, or, put the word in there. He hasn't done that yet, but I, I'm just waiting for him to, put inappropriate words in there. I don't put those in my story at all whatsoever. I mean, you might see a damn, but that's not too bad. Um, but you will not see, the F word, the S word, or the B word ever. Um, like, if it's like an appropriate spot in the story, the word will not be there, but it'll say, Jesse kicked the coffee table and yelled his favorite cuss word, and then Chantel yelled at him because their sons were there. So, that brings up a good subject. I write books, and they're available on Amazon in hardback, paperback, and ebook. We are not in any way, shape, or form about to end the stream, but since I was talking about them, might as well talk about them. So they ship everywhere that Amazon ships to, um, including the UK and Australia and Japan. I think Germany. But I usually say ships everywhere Amazon ships to because I don't want to upset any countries that Amazon does ship to, just in case I forget to say that country. You might hear lawn equipment again. Um, just in case I accidentally skipped over their country because I just haven't memorized that one yet. I don't want to upset anybody. Um, so let's test this theory. Oh, let's finish putting in trees. One trees, not two trees. Yes, I know. I said one trees. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm putting this in the right spot. Yeah. Okay. So, I was being a bad girl earlier. I was walking around the house without my glasses on, and I didn't even realize because I'd like pretty much just woken up. But anyway, I finally got up and took care of what I had to do before stream, and did put my glasses on. Um, and I am happy to say that I am not getting dizzy as much. Like, I'm not getting dizzy. So, I'm happy about that. Um, so, there was a lady that has um, a video on YouTube, and it's showing these water glasses. I mean, glasses that have water in them, and they're supposed to like distract your one, two, three, four. I think they're like supposed to distract your brain so you don't get seasick on like long car rides. And I was like, ooh, that seems like a good thing. But I thought it was a little weird. Um, but oh, well, okay, we were gonna test this theory. I'm sure it's gonna work because no. How about the bone meal? That might work a little better. Yeah. Okay. Uh, I didn't know it could grow on the other side. I thought it was just. I don't know. It may not work. It'll work better than, you know, not having barrier blocks at all, though. Because there's a lot of spots where. Um. Oh. there's a lot of spots where the fireworks are definitely gonna go off, but they're not gonna, um, they're gonna hit a tree somehow. So that's why we started doing this. The heck? Oh, okay. It was working yesterday. It was keeping them back. It wasn't growing. And then today it's acting like might be one of those things where you have to do the either it's one of those things where you have to put the trees in first um and then the barrier blocks, or because it seemed to be working over there, but over here it's not working because you're still getting tree stuff on the other side. Okay. Actually, this is the reason why I usually start at the top and work my way to the bottom. Oh. It's like I want to say oh again, naturally. There's a song, Alone Again, naturally. Um, I can't remember who sings it. I am so sorry. That's one of those things, might be Simon and Garfunkel. Oh, speaking of Simon and Garfunkel, why is this not doing its thing? That has nothing to do with about Simon and Garfunkel, actually. But um, speaking of them, the Bengals have a song called "Hazy Shade of Winter." I guess that doesn't work. Yeah. Anyway, they have a song called "Hazy Shade of Winter," and Simon and Garfunkel also sang it. It sounds so much better from the Bengals. Cause like Simon and Garfunkel, they were singing it, but it was like time, 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 and it was really slow. Um, like instead of the time, 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 see what's become of me, but they sing it a little faster, I think. But instead of that, it was slow. Um, I didn't like it. Now, on the other hand, if you like Simon and Garfunkel, that's okay. We could still be friends. Um, I mean, like I like all kinds of different all kinds of different music. I don't just stick to one genre. Like some people, they only listen to rock and roll. They only listen to country. Of course, country's gone off in a weird direction. There's like Willie Nelson kind of country, from back in the day. Um, and then there's, like Carrie Underwood and Garth Brooks and, all that kind of country. And it's not the same. I mean, literally, um, uh, I, um, I think that's the name of the song, but I'm not sure. Whiskey for my men and beer for my horses. Willie Nelson's one of the singers in that, or is the singer in that. And, um, I think there's more than one. Anyway, and it sounds like rock and roll with a country twang. You know, I was just thinking. Okay, there's a few things that actually remind me of my grandpa. Um, my grandpa on my mom's side. My mama's side. Um, there's a few things, and actually a drum set is one of the things that reminds me of him. And a bit and I remember when I was a kid they had a blue van, a like cargo van. Kind of like the A Team, but if it was a van instead of a passenger van. It was kind of like that. And um I remember that for two reasons. It was Grandma and Grandpa's van. And then also, I don't know how, but because usually to use the gears and stuff, you have to have the car on, or, the vehicle on. But somehow my cousin Jeremy, he was sitting in the driver's seat pretending to drive, like all kids do. But somehow he got into reverse and it went down the driveway and into the street. But yeah, I remember that kind of stuff. And I remember Grandpa always used to have a handkerchief. If he needed to sneeze, if he needed to sneeze, he'd, use a handkerchief. And, and, so I don't know if we actually bought them, but I thought we did. Okay, so let's see if how much of this. Oh, see, there's a whole bunch of this sticking out, but it's okay because it's only this far. As long as the three spaces in the middle are available, I think it should be okay. Um, I don't know. We're gonna try it. Anyway, when it grows between the, when it grows on the outside of the building, it usually only does one space worth of extra, so I don't think I have to worry about it too much. And it having extra like this kind of makes it still look like it's attached to the tree. But it wasn't doing that yesterday. It was only, it's only been doing that today. And I think it's creepy and weird. I was going to leave this and come back later. Probably after I got all the other stuff done. And I was just like, no, I gotta get it done now. So, anyway, we're gonna attempt to get this a little more done today. If not, we'll definitely get it done in the next few days. I do got some stuff that I need to do today, and like I said, my story is one of them. I need to get it done. Because I'm like that close. I'm working on 253, and there's only approximately 430 pages. So it's not that bad. I've only got 178 pages to go. That could get done in a few days if I was really diligent and didn't have anything else to do. So, if I was really diligent about it, I could get that done in just a few days, and it wouldn't be a bad thing. But it would take me okay, 10 pages. I don't know if I could do that kind of math in my head at the moment. Let's see here. It's 178. So call it 180. Is it 10 times 10 is 100? Yeah, 10 times 10 is 100. I'm at that part in my life where I don't really have to do math except for story pages or trying to figure out if I have $5, can I buy that $6 item, Hold on. I'm going to take this opportunity to yell at the battery charger. Actually, I don't know if it's a charger or if it's actually the battery, because I literally put in that battery last night and it couldn't stay powered, so I could even use it a little bit this morning. Okay, so I'm getting 2 more bottles of water. So they're 16.9 ounce. And originally they said you're supposed to drink 8 glasses of water a day. So if they're 16.9 ounce, that's like 2 glasses of water each bottle. Sure doesn't feel like it, but it is. So if you have 4 of them, then, if you have 4 of them, then that's your daily amount. But now they're saying 11. And I'm really thinking that the person that is coming up with this isn't one of those people who has to go all the time. But, I try to remember to drink water. Don't always do it. Michael Jackson in Nashville, since it's the Irish Dance Brothers, I think Gardner, not sure how to say their last name. Anyway, since it's them, I'm assuming they're doing like a moonwalk and step dancing at the same time. Irish dancing. Oh, I was gonna say, why is there, and then the road, and then I was like, oh, there's a road in between. That makes sense now. Anyway, so I started at the very beginning trying to put this in, the part where the road is the same height as everywhere else on the map. And then I decided to come up, go where I actually was and finish it there. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe I already had it there. I don't know. Anyway, I was working on this all day yesterday and it was really annoying. It was only really annoying because of the fact that I'm like, it was only really annoying because I was like, trying to do this, trying to do the trees, trying to, pulling the trees back with this, trying to grow the trees, and you saw how annoying that was. I had a system yesterday, but it doesn't seem to be working today. If you hit the tree trunk in just the right spot, it seems to grow. It seems to grow tall faster. Anyway, I don't think my idea is gonna work out as good as I wanted it to, but it won't be bad either. So, because that looks like, I don't know. Okay, I was gonna say that looks like the trees growing through the barrier again. That doesn't usually happen. A barrier block's a barrier block. It's supposed to keep it in. But for some reason it's not, and I'm confused. But anyway. Anyway, eventually we'll find out if it actually works. Because if it at least works good enough that, if it at least works good enough to keep it to where I can have the fireworks in the middle. And I do apologize. And the only way that I could figure out how to do the fireworks, on this side was to only have one at a time. And I haven't been doing that. I've been doing the more than one at a time, and I think that works better for from a entertainment standpoint. I think it works better. It makes for um, a better show. And I try to wait. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I try to make the best show I can every year, and I only go up to I only go up to 7 though, except for the grand finales or the It's not okay. Excuse me. Sam's on my lap again, and he keeps trying to put his paw on the controller. And it's like, okay, I understand. Maybe it makes you feel like you're playing two, or or like he's closer to mama that way. But it doesn't work because I keep telling him he doesn't have thumbs. Okay. Oh, yeah. Can't put a tree when the tree went crazy. There we go. But yeah, I'm trying to grow the trees and I'm trying to get everything perfect and for it to work. And I kind of liked it. I kind of liked last year's better, but um, I mean, part of it I liked better because it had the Rainbow Raceway in it. I love building the Rainbow Raceway, but the problem is that last year was kind of lackluster. I mean, I liked the Rainbow Raceway, but it was kind of lackluster because like the original had tunnels and yeah, tunnels, and it had going underwater and all this neat stuff. And come on. Okay, it's that spot right there. Yeah, see? It seems to work as long as it's that specific spot. If it's not that specific spot, then it ends up complaining that it's not the spot. Okay, so no, 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 and no, 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 no. And now we should be able to grow the tree, and then it can grow any way it wants. Um, Assuming it's still alive after we bone mill it. Um, I assume so. But assuming is not good. So, like I've said, um, I can use Wile E. Coyote as an example. Um, in his in his portion of the show, he is always running off the cliff. But for some reason, if Roadrunner, I want to say Bugs Bunny did it too one time, but anyway, if Roadrunner um runs off the cliff, he can just stand there in he can stand there in the midair and he doesn't get hurt. But as soon as Wile E. Coyote does it, he looks down and he falls to the ground, and don't worry, they never kill him. I don't know why they kill I mean they unalive, excuse me. They unalive Sylvester all the time, but they don't do that to Wile E. Coyote usually. He doesn't usually end up in the clouds on a you know, up in the clouds on a cloud, with the harp and everything. Like Sylvester does. But it doesn't make any sense because cats, they say cats have 9 lives. I haven't noticed that cats have 9 lives. Um, three. There's a movie called The 3 Lives of Thomasina, and that was showing, like, the little girl had a cat, and this is gonna sound horrible, but it's a Disney movie too. Anyway, a whole bunch of crates fell, and the cat happened to be there, and and so she thought the cat was dead, and I guess for the idea of the um from the movie she was, but then she ends up at this other house. Maybe she. No, the little girl had her first. I was gonna say she was a lovable stray at one point too. Or at least at least the fisherman thought she was. Um. Anyway, so she ends up at the um at the witch's house, but really she's just a kitty doctor. Yeah, I mean animal doctor. No, that's still not working. Oh, still not working. Huh? Well, there's that. Sometimes the Minecraft tree won't grow because there's stuff above it, but this time I don't understand why. See, this is a harder way. I like to start at the top and work my way down to the um like I'd like to start from up here and then go down to the road. Doesn't always work, but It works better than doing it the hard way. I don't know why the tree can't just grow, you know, with the branch there. I mean, if it was a real tree, it would grow with the branch there. It would grow around the branch. So, because we've been talking about trees, I was thinking of the movie Now You See Me. Might be Now You See Me too, but I'm pretty sure it's Now You See Me. Um, and there's this one part in there where there was a card encased in. Um, well, actually, I don't know what it was encased in. Anyway, there was a card inside um, a see-through case that um, it was like very special to somebody, and they grew it in the tree. And I was thinking that would be kind of neat to grow something in the tree like that. I don't know how you would do that though, because watching the trees around Walmart when there were some, watching the trees around Walmart, um, they don't seem to care about their customers as much as before because they used to have trees and then now they don't. They used to have trees to try to shade you, but they always tried to keep them, young trees, so it wouldn't necessarily work. Although I seem to remember the one at Fairfield having better trees than that. But maybe there's a less sinister reason. Maybe they do care about their customers, but it's one of those things where somebody ruined it because they got into a fight over the parking space with the shade. I mean, my goodness, over Christmas one year, I mean, the Christmas time, um, somebody got into a fight with somebody else over our parking space. Okay. I feel like I'm taking out the wrong thing or something. Oh, that's why. Okay. See, ta-da! It worked. So we're going to be doing a little bit of barrier blocks and a little bit of, a lot bit of barrier blocks and a little bit of trees and hopefully putting in the dispensers, and maybe we'll get to actually filling in said dispensers. I don't know. I mean, we got less than 2 hours left, so um, we're almost at an hour and a half. So I don't know what we're going to get done today, but we're going to get as much done as humanly possible. And then we're going to stop and eat lunch and hopefully do some of my story. The thing is that this is a part of the story that I ought to know what's happening in it, so it ought to go pretty fast. Yeah, okay. So it ought to go pretty fast. And then I'll get to the point, um, although some of the parts that I know very, very well, I'm like, that's not the way that happened. That's not, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't, this, that doesn't that. And then I'll go and change it and it'll sound a lot better. Now that I fixed it, but it took a little longer than I wanted it to because I had to go and fix it. So, earlier I was half awake and trying to listen to part of my story, and I'm like, oh, it was, Morgan was saying $8,000 a month. I mean, a week for Sam Crenshaw, to be one of her, um, I don't know if that's what you would call it, but ranch hands. Because they don't have a ranch, they have a mansion, but they have a lot of horses in the horse stable, and they have a lot of dogs and cats and stuff. You know what? I never had anybody have a bird. People have birds, and so they might be wanting to, hear Polly speak or something like that. And and I'm the only time I've ever had a bird was our finches. Um, Tiffany and Julian, I want to say. I don't know if I knew the name Julian at that time, so maybe not. No, 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 no. It was Sam and Tiffany. I know that sounds so weird because I've told you so many times that Sam and Tiffany are my are two of the characters in my book. And um I don't know why, but I've always liked the name Sam. I think I first heard it on Cheers, Sam Malone, and I've liked that name. So there's a few characters named Sam in my book. I don't usually do that. Usually I try to go for one name for each person, and if they happen to have a middle name, you know, it's because their parent was yelling at them, like Noah Michael McAllister. Um, and I'm trying to spell McAllister exactly how they spell it on Home Alone, and make sure that the AI says it correctly and everything. Um, but there's just certain things that I don't think they'd be able to say, like Mallory. I was trying to get I don't know why, but I was trying to get it to say Mallory, and it was saying like Mallory. I was like, I guess that wouldn't be too bad, but that's not her name. Okay. Are you snoring? It's like, I know Bobby snores, but, um, Sam doesn't usually. So, like, if I hear anybody else snoring, it's like, what's wrong? Ah, that's why. Okay. Now can we grow a tree? Yes. Okay. Now, we could leave that there, but we're not going to. Okay. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. I've been um not drinking milk for so long, because of medical issues that I was always drinking oat milk, and it's not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad, but it just wasn't the same at first, and then I got used to it, and it was okay. But it tastes really bad when it's about to go out of date. Um, it doesn't taste that great. So, it's not like milk where it pretty much holds its flavor, no matter what. Well, until it does go out of date, and then it's like you're about to sit down for a nice bowl of cereal, and your cat goes and says no. Yeah, he threw, he was like, no, mama, uh-uh. Um, it's kind of like you would have to be there to understand, but Ben literally saved me from um having bad milk that day, and it was really awesome. So now I let them sniff my food and make sure it's safe for me to eat. I go, sniffies, no eaties. I know, neither one of those are words, but it works. And I kind of feel like us authors are allowed to make up words. I don't know why. It just, it sounds like a good thing that we're allowed to make up words. Like Dr. Seuss. Um, they say that every single one of his words is actually in the dictionary. But when it's being used in his books, it it's hard to think that maybe that is in the dictionary somewhere. But I don't think so. I mean, they did say that, you know, I mean, something was saying that every single one of the words, like sneeches, is in the dictionary. And I'm like, I don't know about that. That sounds like a weird word if it is in there. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that sometime. Like during a live stream like this one. Maybe we will see if a whole bunch of his words are in the dictionary or not. Because I should be able to ask GOOGLE, which is not a word either. um, define sneech or what's another weird word? Oh, Lorax. Of course, GOOGLE will probably tell me the Lorax is in Dr. Seuss books. You know. Maybe we'll have to, um, oh, what's the program I have? Oh, OBS Studio. Maybe we'll have to, like, reinstall it so it can see internal, the internal camera. And we can, because I was trying to get it to see my, at the time, I was trying to get it to see my, webcam so I could record my videos. Well, that was back when I was using old technology. I was using a webcam. Oh my goodness. That was not my best time. Quite often you would see everything just kind of not sideways, but definitely not straight up and down like it is right now. It would be cockeyed. I don't know if everybody understands that, but it wouldn't be straight. It would be a little off. And so I was like totally happy when Sidran told us about Twitch, because I'm like, ooh, that might work. And at first I was a little scared to use it because I didn't know how it was going to work. Was it going to interrupt what I was, was it going to interrupt what I was doing? Was I going to have to take a day off so I could set it up and everything? And actually, it set up pretty easily. But then it was like, okay, but how do I get them from here to there? And we figured out how to get them onto my computer, and I've been doing it that way pretty much ever since. I used to have it going straight to YouTube, and I don't want to set it up that way because when I have Fillmore Wondershare, then I could go and take a 3-hour video like this one and turn it into a shorter video if I can find a spot where I'm not talking. But I try not to not talk because, because I want you to walk away happy, happy that you got, your money's worth. I mean, I know that on Mondays is probably harder to love what I do because the videos are so long. But maybe you want to build your own fireworks display and you just don't know what to do. You don't have an idea or how to do it, Or like maybe you don't want to do a fireworks display. Maybe you want to be able to um, sh- um, have the fireworks shoot off to keep your friends away from your base, or to keep the, like maybe you're playing uh, a realm or a one of those realms that you pay, $2 for or whatever it is, probably $5 now. I have no idea. But you pay $2 a month, and you get your own server. But like maybe it's one of those that a whole bunch of people play on, not just you, and you want to keep the people that you don't know off your base. Or like, like maybe you're playing on loverfellow.com's uh realm server, whatever you call it. Okay, this is not working. And you definitely want to keep, say, person A, B, and C off, because they've been trolling and, blowing up people's bases and stuff. And you can't build in Bedrock because, they try to keep it. I mean, you can't build with Bedrock because they try to keep it, vanilla Minecraft. I don't know why they do that, because like if you're building a base, you probably want it as strong as possible. Um, but there's other ways to make sure that people could still get in, to make sure that people could still get into your base if uh if there's like a rule that people still have to get into your base. If you're building it in Bedrock, you can still set that up. And every freaking morning, they, it probably turns out that they are watching my stream right now, and they're like, she's definitely home. Let's bug her. It's like, gee, thanks. Don't see that I'm streaming. Um, because my husband's always going, they don't know that you're streaming. I'm going, I think they do. I am pretty freaking sure. Notice I said freaking. That's the word I meant to use too. Um, anyway, I am pretty sure that they are watching my stream right now and know exactly when to call me, to try to sell me Medicare, the new benefits of Medicare. Well, if I needed new benefits of Medicare, I would probably call the Medicare people, for one. And for two, I'm not ready for that yet. It's still not working. Huh. Oh, that'd be why. That could be why. Yeah, it's going that way, so, okay. Um, and then for two, I don't qualify until I'm 65, and I'm a ways off from that. I will just say it that way. So, like, after the first time that I said, no, I don't have it, they shouldn't call back. Or the few times I've actually bothered to tell them my age, they should have written that down and say, okay, I'll bug her then. But these are people that are out to steal our money. Oh, speaking of that, Okay, so like I said, Cideran, his wife is on vacation right now. So he's at home with their son, and that has nothing to do with the story. She was trying to get a rental car yesterday, and they tried to charge her twice for it. Or actually, I think the way he said it, they were trying to charge her 3 times for it. So please watch out for that scam. Um, in this case, she had prepaid for it, and then the supervisor was like, "Oh, it didn't go through. We gotta charge you again." And then it tried to run a third time, and or something like that. Like I think it got charged twice. I mean, they were trying to charge it twice yesterday. And she'd already prepaid for it. So, um, and I think he said that it turns out the supervisor was in on it. Yeah. So I don't know where she was, at the time, but please watch for that kind of thing. Just sounds like a good thing to warn people about. Um, okay, so we know that there's something up here. Oh, yep. I was gonna say we know that there's something up there to. Okay, there we go. I wish there was if you put it on the one side, finally, if you put it on the one side, it'll definitely grow in this specific direction, and um, you don't have to worry about branches crashing together. But on the other hand, this is probably more realistic, so. Ugh. I think I'm gonna have my peanut butter toast later. I didn't have it yesterday. I had it the day before, but I didn't have it yesterday. And so, or was it I didn't have it the day before yesterday? Yesterday, I don't know. Anyway, I had it recently, but I didn't have it, like the day before or the day after or whatever it was. And yeah, I want peanut butter toast. Mostly I've been having peanut butter toast because it's easy to make, and I love honey roasted peanut butter. But I wish that we had more of a variety, or like that we could get. Um, there we go. Or like we could get a thing of turkey lunch meat and um and mayonnaise to go with the bread, for some days, and then other days I could have the peanut butter. Um, I don't know. We just need more variety in the house, and we don't have that much money, so. Um, so I was telling you about my books earlier, but I didn't tell you the prices. I've, I always tell the American prices because I don't know. I don't have it written down right now what what the other prices are, for the other countries. Um, and I don't quite understand, I don't understand the other, um, the other, uh, French money, uh, oh, UK has a pound, um, and I know that um, one of the money, or maybe it's all of the money in I want to say South America, is the peso. But and there's francs and Deutschmarks and rubles. I was watching a video the other day, and they said something else, and I think it started with an L, and I'm like, huh? I remember it being rubles. So maybe they changed it. I have no idea. But anyway, I remember rubles, and you know, th- there's other, um, there's other monies out there. Is what I'm saying. And I just there's so many of them that I don't know if I'll ever be able to write it all down. And figure out what it is and everything. Um, but I'm gonna sure try. I'm not gonna give up. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. Okay. So wait a minute. I'm gonna go over here and oh boy. Yeah, and then like I said, there's so many more trees. And then there's not just these trees, there's all these trees that haven't been planted yet that need to be put in here. And there needs to be a path. There needs to be a bit of a path for Mama Bear to take her cubs over here somewhere. And I thought yesterday it would probably be good to have a, because she runs a bed and breakfast. So in here is a big old dining room. I know you don't see the tables and chairs and stuff right now, but just pretend they're there. Um. Anyway, there should be a dumpster over here, but there isn't one right now. Um. I don't know. We'll have to, we'll have to figure it out. But there's all these trees and those trees, and you know, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we still need to put together for this project to be complete, and we've only got until July 4th. Um, like 2 o'clock July 4th to do it. That is the latest. I think last year I actually posted at 6 o'clock. That still gave that still gave people enough time to do the um to watch it. That part of the idea. It's only part of it though. But part of the idea is to give kids something to watch, before the actual fireworks go off. And I'm hoping this year that it's like really awesome and people love it and and that I can and that I can get it done on time because it's almost May already. It's April 27th right now, 2026. So yeah. Anyway, so what I was trying to say is that my books are on Amazon. They ship everywhere that Amazon ships to. They're available for they're available for free shipping, and at the moment the hardback books are pretty much all over the place on pricing. Pirate's Daughter, Misfortune, and Hard Times reached $26. But Esperanza's party is $24. The island is $25. And Lessons in Love is $27. And the children's book I wrote with actual pictures of my cats and my husband, um, they are, I mean, uh, the book is called Coral. It's part of a series called Adopted. And the reason why it's called Adopted is because you adopt the pet into your family. So, yeah, it's called Adopted. Um, anyway, that is not available in hardback at this time. But if I can gather all those pictures and redo those pages, then I will definitely put it together with Ben's book, as soon as I write that. I haven't written that yet either. So, I've been concentrating on the bigger books, trying to get them out, and, I've got all 7 of my books as, in a book form, um, in book form right here, on my bookshelf, and, they look great. I've even got some with the original covers with the Minecraft art, as I put it. I call it Minecraft art. Seems, I thought it looked really good for what it was. And then, people are like, can I help you with your art? Can I help you with your art? And then, okay, so I went and switched over to AI art because, I've got very specific stuff. You would have to, you'd be very hard pressed to, um, you'd be very hard pressed to, um, to, actually figure out exactly where some of that stuff, some of that stuff came from. Um, but I started using that because I thought it looked more realistic. I didn't necessarily want it to look like, um, forgive me, Carolyn Keene or whoever's writing those books now, but, I didn't want it to look like the books from the 90s, the late 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s, because, you know, they were, um, animated, I mean, not animated, but, it wasn't, like a real person. It was a cartoon person, you know. Um, it looked really good for its time, but I didn't want that. I wanted, the very specific stuff from my book. And, I came up with some really good covers. I'm going to have to fix one of them, though, because originally Lessons in Love was supposed to have her going to town on her horse. But I want to fix that to where it's her going to, going to town on her motorcycle. But she's still she's like still dressed mysteriously. Well, she'd have a helmet then instead of a ninja hood. But, she'd be uh they call her the biker ninja in that one. I mean, yeah, I think it's less. No, in Test and Love they call her the biker ninja. Sean calls her the biker ninja. So, um, So if he's calling her the biker ninja in that one, then maybe she kind of looks like she's dressed as a ninja, but she's definitely got a helmet on, so you can't tell who it is. So it's kind of like Grease 2, where there's this motorcycle riding guy and you don't know who it is. You know it's somebody, but you don't know who it is because I I think he had the helmet on. Or maybe it was just maybe oh no, he had goggles on. That's what it was. He wasn't even wearing a helmet. He just had goggles on. So so anyway, they couldn't tell who it was, and then all of a sudden at the end of the movie, he takes them off, and the girl that he's been trying to get the attention of the whole time is like she's very, very happy because, she's getting the nerd and the cool guy all at the same time. So, it doesn't have the same flavor as the original Grease movie. And I think, I mean, either it was the people acting in the film or it was either it was people some of the people acting in the film, or it was the writer, but it just didn't have the same flavor as Grease. It was more on the comedy side than on the serious side, and I don't think that's the way that they should have gone with it. I mean, it's a good movie, but you know, going more on the comedy side, it just didn't exactly work. It's kind of like, okay, it's kind of like when they go and make a musical nowadays. It could be a big hit like High School Musical or Greatest Showman. It could be a big hit like that. I'm sure Pitch Perfect and some of those other movies are like Pitch Perfect and Glee. I'm sure they're good movies too, but I haven't seen them, so I can't use them as my example. I just have not seen them yet. I kind of want to watch Pitch Perfect. I think what I think it's Pitch Perfect. Anyway, it's the one where the actress that plays Faith on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, she wants to be the cheerleader. Oh, so that doesn't sound like Pitch Perfect. Yeah, that so doesn't sound like Pitch Perfect. Because I think Pitch Perfect is the one with the cup song. Oh, anyway, I want to watch the cheerleading movie with the actress that plays Faith on Buffy the Vampire Slayer because she's in it. And I thought that was really weird because I don't know how long ago that movie was made, but it's got that's not Reese Witherspoon. Um, um okay, I can't think of her name right now, but she was MJ on Spider-Man movies. That the first ones with I want to say the actor's name was Toby. Um, I'm pretty sure the actor's name was Toby. Anyway, the first ones with Toby. And, and I still don't know why Reno would be calling me either. So I was pressing A button, but I don't know if I was pressing the button. You know, the button I actually needed to press. So that's why it took so long. But anyway, she played. I'm still not answering, dude. Yeah, the only reason why I say dude is because my cousin. I was not talking like that before. But one year my cousin's like, you gotta say dude. I mean, she probably didn't say it in those words, but you gotta say dude. It's a cool thing to do now. And I'm like, okay, I gotta, so I started saying dude, but I think I started saying dude like way too late. And technically, um, um, I'm just not that person that goes and says, the new cool words usually. Like, what was it? Oh, like sus. Okay, so like at first, I don't do not understand why people started saying sus instead of suspicious, but they were. So at first it sounded like Preston Plays was saying it like that is so sus, like it's so cool, so awesome, so radical, whatever. Um, but at first it sounded like he was saying it that way, but now he's saying like that is so sus. Like it sucks. It's not good, And I'm like, I don't get it. Like I totally don't understand why they would why they would say it that way. One time a few times and then all of a sudden switch it to where, sus means it sucks. Or they're literally saying it's suspicious, like, because, like, he does a lot of videos where, like, all of a sudden there's somebody in the window, but did we really see this person in the window? Or were they never there in the first place, And, it's always on, like, a world where, the videos, I mean, the video piece is the video evidence. That's what we'll call it. The video evidence is, like, I don't think I was supposed to see this, or I entered a random world and this is what I found. Something to get his attention, and then it's usually something really, um, it's something that is quite ordinary, and like, well, one time it was upside down trees, but technically, that could have been something that they set up ahead of time. Because I'm pretty sure he plays on computer. He's always saying, okay, like if he builds something, he's always saying it takes so long because he has to press the button like 300 million times. And I'm over here going, I don't know why. Because I can do this. This is a heck of a lot easier. I don't know why anybody would want to put stuff down one at a time. I had to put the trees down one at a time, and that was very tedious, very annoying. Had to try to get the trees just right. I mean, it's just not the best, it's not the most fun project, but it is so satisfying when you're done with it. So I go and put this, you know, this way, and excuse you, I was trying to put that there. Thank you. Okay. Oh boy, and we went down this way too? Okay. I mean, eventually we will catch up with the other barrier blocks and have to go back to growing trees and putting dispensers in, but at the moment we're doing this because it's easier to do. And I have no idea where the next firework dispenser needs to be put in. It's over there somewhere, but where is over there? Yeah, I have no idea. But that general area that we went to a little while ago to show you where, I mean, to show you the dispenser. Oh, to show you why the light was on. That's what it was. I was trying to show why the light was on because I was like, I don't know what happened here. There shouldn't be lights, and then it's like, oh yeah, I put that in. Okay. Um. Oh, fun fact for you. You probably know this already, but the actress who plays Faith on Buffy the Vampire Slayer was also on the movie True Lies. And I assume, and I think I'm right, that it was before she was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She wasn't playing the most well behaved person in that either because her dad's her dad's away a lot at computer conventions. Um, but what it really is that he's a spy. Um, he's a spy, and you know, um, it's kind of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where like people need killing kind of thing. But that was a quote in the movie. Um, anyway, it's kind of like that, but they're trying to um I think they were trying to get the terrorists to not blow up the White House, and so they needed to get their information, and so they ended up having to go into his mansion, and they're having a party at the mansion. So instead of getting themselves invited, they just kind of walked in. Um, like through the service areas, like the kitchen. Um, and and the one guy, I feel really bad for him. The one guy, he had food that he was supposed to take out to the guests, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's character Harry tasted it, and he's like, "Ew, this tastes like dog food. Take it back." I don't know if that's because it really did taste like dog food or if, he's just being a jerk, but oh boy, this is taking forever. I mean, it's almost taken 3 hours and we haven't even connected it up with the rest of the, because we got to put it up so high. Trees can go really, really high here, and, I've got one thing that I need to do is... Nope, it's still blinking. So I think that's the end of the life of that battery. I'm going to be telling my husband, yeah, I need a new battery because, that one's dying. This one seems to have staying power, but the other one does not. Because I think this one's new, or at least newer. And, yeah. But anyway, yeah, so the actress that plays Faith on Buffy the Vampire Slayer was on True Lies. She was on something else too. I can't remember what it was though. I was looking at her going, "Who is that?" Or maybe I just saw it on IBDM or whatever it's called. Um, it ends in B. IMBD or something like that. Um, anyway, it's the one that, you're looking up actors and actresses, and, GOO, GLE has failed you, so you look it up there, and, you find out all the movies that they've been in and all the TV shows, and if they were a producer or director at any point in time, all that stuff. Because sometimes, I'm watching one of those YouTube videos, and it said, the specific one that I'm talking about, it said that Leonardo DiCaprio was dead. Well, okay, he's died in, like, a whole bunch of, TV shows and movies that he's been in. So, that character is dead, but he is not, according to GOOGLE. And, and I did not think that it was very nice of them to try to put him in his grave. So I'm like, just because he's died in literally almost every single movie movie or TV show that he's ever been in, does not mean that you get to kill him off. That's probably the same person. I have no idea. But it's probably the same person that was trying to say that Miranda Sirtis is dead. I think I said her name wrong, though. Because I don't think it's Miranda. I think it's Miranda or something like that. She's got an interesting name. Um, yeah, I think it's Miranda. Not entirely sure. But anyway, whatever her name is. Um, she plays on Star Trek The Next Generation as Counselor Troy, and she's not gone either. So why are these people saying that they're gone? Because what they really do is, they give you, "Ooh, this person's gone." And then they don't have that person in the video at all whatsoever. Or if they do, they say, "Oh, they're alive and well in, California." And they say, like, say, "Okay, this doesn't make any sense because I don't think there is one," but, like, they'll say Orlando, California. And, because that's the first city that came into mind in the first state, so. But anyway, they'll say something like that, and it'll be a real place, it won't be made up off the top of my head place. That is really annoying me. And you're saying, "Why don't you turn it off or turn it to silent or something?" I don't actually know how to turn my phone to silent. I had to have my husband do it. And I felt bad because, okay, so we're at church. We were at church with my aunt, and, I would, when I was little, I would go to that church with my grandparents, and my grandpa helped build that church. Anyway, It wasn't a embarrassing thing where my phone went off, but I did have to hang up on my in-laws. They were just trying to call me up and say, "Yeah, we don't have to uh have Tina take me to my appointment because my father-in-law has a week off." And I don't see how he's supposed to pay the bills if he's got a week off. But yeah, they gave him a whole entire week off, and we don't know why, but that's what they did. And like, he might do better trying to get a job at the W store as a door greeter. But I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Either part of that, working for Walmart or working as a door greeter. Being a door greeter is so boring. You're standing there, you're waiting for somebody to go by with, that pillow that's out of the bag, or well, now you're supposed to show them your receipt just like you were shopping at Costco. But nobody wants to do that because it's the W store. It's not Costco, it's the W store. Or, like, it's not Sam's Club, you know? It's not a big fancy store, it's Walmart. So it's like the new Kmart, kind of. And, nobody wants to show their receipt, so then they just walk by, they don't care. Um, and technically, Walmart doesn't have posted anywhere you need to show your receipt at the door or we're not going to let you out. They don't do that, and it's like, they don't care enough. You're supposed to show your receipt at the door just like you were at Costco. But most of the managers are just like, okay, if they don't want to show the receipt, they don't have to. And it's like, well, it's a new policy. Shouldn't that be like a rule? And, they're treating it more like a guideline than a rule. If you've ever seen the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, um, they're treating it more like a guideline than a rule. And that's not okay. It's policy. You're supposed to follow policy. Like taking somebody into the office to talk to them one last time and officially tell them that they are fired. Thank you very much. I don't know if I could, but I would like to talk to a lawyer and see if I could not get my job back, but get the wages that I missed by not working. You know, talk to them and get them uh, make them accountable for what they did to me. That's all I want. I don't necessarily want my job back because that was so stressful. I think it was killing me. Um, they say it's better now, but I don't believe them. And it's like you get to your 4 hour mark, you're supposed to have your lunch. And there was at least a few days when I didn't get my lunch until about 2 hours before I was supposed to get off. No, actually, it was exactly 2 hours before I was supposed to get off. And I think I was racking up points for not taking my lunch sooner. And I was not allowed to take my lunch sooner. So, yeah. Of course, if I got my job back, I would definitely want to I mean, it's really too late. I should have complained a long time, about 4 years ago. But, my husband thinks I got fired, in July because it was like, happy birthday, you're unemployed. And then I seem to remember that I got fired in April. So, like, maybe it was official in July. Like, I actually found out that I was actually fired. I don't know. But anyway, it was either 22 or 23 that I got fired for, as what I see, no reason. Because I did not yell at anybody. I talked a little sternly, and that is allowed. And actually, I got told that if somebody's being rude to me, I can yell at them. Because I had this couple, I literally ended up walking away in tears the first time. Second time, I was feeling sassy. I'm like, you could bag it yourself. Never came in my line again. Like, I am not crying this time. No. I would like to say that I'm not an over emotional crier, but that's not true, so. Anyway. Anyway, so we are getting this done. It's taking forever, but we are getting this done. And it's about a half an hour until we're gonna end the stream. I don't know if I'm gonna. Okay, so I don't know if I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do today, like a good person should, or am I gonna sit on here and go until I connect the dots and then try to do stuff? I just don't know what I'm gonna do. Today is garbage day, so I gotta make sure that my husband puts the garbage can out. I would do it, but I think it's too heavy for me. Like it's almost as tall as I am. Uh, I don't think it's really as tall as I am, but it's big. Um, so anyway, I don't put it out. He does. 'Cause I've got this thing where it's part of the kitchen. The garbage is part of the kitchen, so he's got to do the garbage. Uh, well, before it was because we'd have a lot of cans and like the mayonnaise jar, the glass one. Um, thank God when they moved it to plastic. Oh my goodness. Um, but anyway, like mayonnaise jars uh and sauce jars, and all that. So the garbage would be really heavy, and I could not lift it. And then and I would do the laundry because my husband has no feel for laundry. His mom literally goes and puts like every single color in the washer and just the only thing she'll separate is the whites, I think. So bad habits, and there was some things that should not go. I mean, like they should go in the washer, but shouldn't go in the dryer. Something like that. Um, oh, I lost that nice dress. Dang it. 'Cause either that or that nice dress is up there. waiting for me to get skinny again. But I think I may have lost that nice dress that I had. Um, it was a dress that my mother-in-law used to wear when she was younger, and it like fit me perfect when I was wearing it. So I'm like, on her it was probably a mini skirt. On me, it was longer. So, but I don't know if I still have it. Um, so I've got what kind of looks like a pregnant tummy, I think, and I'm starting to get the kind of grandma arms, and I'm like, I don't like that idea. I really don't like that idea. So I want to um I want to get it to where I start taking the boys out for a walk. Um, because I just don't think I can figure out how to get Bobby to go with us. She doesn't always like to be held, and I don't know if she would be good in the stroller or not. I want to get there's a really big wagon stroller at Walmart, and I want to get that, but I don't know if I can get that. I mean, money wise, of course, we can't afford it right now, but I don't know if I can push it with three cats in it. And I don't know if I can get the three cats to be good, or if they're going to be little monsters to, if the boys are going to be little monsters to Bobby or what. I am sure I could get some kind of, like some kind of cardboard and keep them separate, but I don't know if they would like look over the side and I mean look around it and see, oh, it's you, and then she gives them the glare of, oh, it's you. I just don't know. I just don't think putting them in the same stroller would be okay. But right now we've got a regular baby stroller and it does hold three cats. But I'd have to get them all used to each other, and like yesterday Ben was being a bad boy. He went and chased Bobby. So I don't know why the boys seem to think that she belongs up there. But yeah, they seem to think that she belongs up. Well, maybe that's just how I'm seeing it, but it seems like they're saying that she belongs up at the top of the cat tree. You know, it's like that's not the thing. And then I'm kind of dreading it because, all good things come to an end. So, eventually Ben will, you know, have to go live with the kitty doctor. And, then I will just have Sam and Bobby. And I'm hoping beyond hope that they will like each other by then. At least enough to, play. I mean, we'll tolerate each other, maybe play. Um, not chase her back up the cat tree. I'm just, I'm worried about that kind of stuff. Um, but worrying doesn't do anything. It just, it makes you worry. It gets you upset about the unknown. And I don't really like that. I really don't like that. Because, like, I was worried that, only because of her age, only because of her age, I was worried that Grandma would be not making it to her birthday. Well, she did. Like I said, Grandma seems to have staying power. She's the last grandma I have left. She's the last grandparent I have left. Um, Grandpa died last year. Uh, Mom's dad, and then uh, Mama's parents. Uh, well, no, dad's dad went first, and then it was both of Mama's parents. Um, like uh 2014 and 2016 or something like that. And then um and then grandma mom dad's mom and then but then I was freaking out because I had no more grandparents at all. No more original grandparents anyway. And then mom's parents, like I said, grandpa died last year, and I don't know when grandma's going to go. Um, but we call it going to live with the kitty doctor over here. Because that was the best way I could explain. Uh, that was the best way that I could explain that all of a sudden we didn't have Roxy and Henny. To to Coral and Ben and Sam. That was the best way I could explain it. Well, actually, to Coral and Ben, because they were upset that she wasn't here anymore. I think they were doing that same thing that they were doing when Coral went. It, where they were like going around the house looking for her, but she wasn't there. But it didn't last half as long as the boys looking for a Coral. So it's like, I don't want to say her name that much because they'll start, getting upset again. Yeah, you got to treat your cats like kids sometimes. You know, they do they do know that their friend is not there anymore, and they can't. Well, they probably could break down in tears, but they don't. But they don't understand, and you can't really explain it to them. So, the way I figured it out was, um, they know what a kitty doctor is. So, you know, they had to go live with the kitty doctor. And I was really hoping that that would work, and it did. Um, but also, like, I was hoping that if God recycles cats and dogs and, everybody's beloved pet, um, if he does that, that they got an even better family this time, you know. And a forever home, forever from kittenhood to, uh, damn. Hello?
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 Hi, I'm Allison, and I'm reaching out because your Medicare file was updated recently.
Yeah, right.
But we haven't received confirmation from you yet. So, to make sure your coverage isn't affected, can you just confirm with a yes or no if you have both Part A and Part B?
Sure.
Yeah, so I was asking, you do have Part A and B of Medicare, right?
Sure. Yeah, they were using Robert Metzel's number though. It's the only reason why I answered it. You know, the problem is that you can block their number 600,000 times, assuming that there's 600,000 phone numbers in the world. But yeah, you can block them 600,000 times and they'll just find another number to call you from. So, um so the phone kind of has a I think my phone has a automatic blocking thing. You know, like if I didn't talk to it on Tuesday and I didn't talk to it on Wednesday, I probably don't want to talk to it, whatever phone number it is. The problem with that is though that Aunt Mickey called me from her new number. She's always getting a new number. Oh my goodness. Um, but she called me from her new number and I didn't answer it because I was streaming and I didn't pay attention to what the area code was. Um, if it's 520, I try to always pick it up because it's probably Aunt Mickey or Uncle Gerald or Uncle Jimmy. Usually it's Aunt Mickey that calls me, but Uncle Jimmy does call me sometimes too. I'm actually surprised that they didn't call and ask about the earthquake. We had a minor earthquake. It was weird though because it like said it was a 5.7 or something like that, right? And then like the next, or no, 5.9. And then the next day it said 5.7, and then like the next day they did I guess they did more research because it was like down to a 3.7 or something like that. I'm like, okay, that sounds a little more normal for what happened because it just felt like we were floating on water. It really did. It just felt like we were floating on water. And that was really weird because it's like you know our house and the ground underneath it was floating like water. But it was very gentle and didn't bug me that much. It's not like the time when we lived across town at Carson Catalina and I was sitting on the bed. I think okay, so I think we had my Xbox in the bedroom. That sucked. That was horrible. But anyway, uh we had my Xbox in the bedroom and or I was watching a movie, one of those two. Um anyway, whatever the deal was, I was in the bedroom and Ben was sitting next to me and then it just felt like the giant from what's that called? The Brave Little Tailor. Um he's on the Brave Little Tailor and he's on I'll think of it. Mickey's Christmas Carol as one of the ghosts. And I know he's on something else too. Uh, oh, that's something I don't have. Not entirely sure that's a Christmas movie, but Maybe I do have it. Hmm. You know what? That could be on Fun and Fancy Free, actually. Anyway, um, he's on that too. Um, it's the one where the guy's telling the story. I think he's telling the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, and yeah, so it's probably on Fun and Fancy Free. Yeah, he's on the Jack and the Beanstalk thing too. Well, Mickey and the Beanstalk, probably. Um, but it's on Fun and Fancy Free, and that was the name of the DVD. I've noticed that when you have a audio tape, like in the 80s, it was on an audio tape. And you go and change it to CD, it's not always the same album title. Like Madonna had the Immaculation Collection. I hope that's not a dirty word because I don't know what that word means. But anyway, she had that on tape, and then she did put it as that same title for CD. But apparently, one of the other uh, tapes I had. Oh, Amy Grant. Amy Grant. She had on there a song called Hats, and and I can't remember what it was called, but the one that starts out with "Take this man to prison." The man heard her say, you know, and then 4 squads of soldiers came and carried him away. I think it is. Anyway, that one. Um, people that listen to Amy Grant will know exactly what song that is, and if you would kindly please tell me in the comments below, I would really appreciate it. Um, but people that used to listen to Amy Grant would know what I'm talking about. Um, I love that song, and I wish I could have a big old server, so I could have, like 1,000 uh what is it, 1,000 terabytes or more of space, so I could just have like songs and books on tape. I mean on digital, because I just I love songs and I love books, and I would love to be able to listen to them all the time, but I can't always have them because at the moment my um, CD player doesn't play the whole thing if it's a book. So I'm like trying to listen to The Outsiders, and um, like it's when I stepped out into the bright sunlight from the darkness of the movie house, I had two things on my mind: Paul Newman and a ride home. Well, say that was the end of say that was the end of the CD. It would say Paul Newman, and it would just stop. So I'm like, and a ride home, and I get mad. So I don't. It works perfect for music, but it does not work good for for stories. My computer, on the other hand, works really good for stories, especially the ones that I made. But it sounded like like I was half awake when I was listening to this, but it sounded like part of the story got repeated again. And I'm like, huh? So I'm gonna have to go and listen to it again. One of these days when I'm not so busy trying to do, the next book. I've been getting like about one out every year. Um, the past few years. So I've got 7 of them right now. 6 novels and Quirrell's book. But I've got 7, and I want to get, I want to get the next one and the next one and the next one until I have to get creative again, and then and figure out what the next book is. Um, because I've got a whole bunch of books that are written, that are just about ready to come out. They're not, they need tweaking. I came up with tweaking because that's on You've Got Mail. Um, uh, okay, so it's Tom Hanks, and he plays Joe, and what is her name? Well, her name is Meg Ryan, and she plays Shop Girl, but I can't think of her name. I can't think of her character's name. We'll call her Shop Girl for now. I want to call her Maggie, but that's not her name. Maggie was, oh, I think Maggie Smith was the one that played Professor McGonagall in um, the Harry Potter movies. And then, she also played, Granny Wendy in Hook, and she played Mother Superior, because I can't think of her real name, for the movie. But she played Mother Superior in, the Sister Act movies. I'm sure there's more things that she played, but those are the things that I remember her from. So anyway, what was my point to all that? Oh, so on Kathleen Kelly, that's her name. Okay, so Joe and Kathleen met in a chat room, which you probably don't know what that is, but it's kind of like a club online where you can meet people. So okay, and I think people are still meeting people online nowadays. And you never know if it's that love of your life gonna stay together forever. Like my sister-in-law Jenny, well, Jennifer, um and her husband does not call her Jenny. Jeff calls her Jennifer. So I kind of think that's like, that's how you know that. I mean, as long as he's saying it nice, that's how you know that, that's the love of your life. When he calls you Jennifer instead of Jenny. Cause she was always called Jenny here um, because my mother-in-law refuses to admit that her kids have grown up and are capable of taking care of themselves. Well, I don't think my younger sister-in-law is, Jenny. I really don't think she is, but that's okay. She just, like, if she had to go out and get a job in the real world, like go work at Walmart or something like that. I don't think she'd be able to do it. And, well, I couldn't do it either. So I'm not like, talking out of school or something like that. I'm like, I really don't, I mean, I could get a job, but you have to be able to get the job first. And so far, I haven't been able to do it. And then you have to be able to do the job. So that lowers my, that lowers, uh, that lowers it a few points too, because there's only a certain amount of jobs I can do. Like I wouldn't make a good surgeon. I would not make a good computer repair person. Um, and my husband gets all upset at me because, he always said, "Oh, I'm really great at computers. I built one," you know. And then he goes and says, "I don't know where you guys got the, nowadays he goes and says, "I don't know where you got the impression that I know how to fix computers." It's like, you told us. Hello. Don't tell me something unless you want me to remember it. Um, I don't remember everything. Like, oh, like yesterday, I was going to, read off, but I couldn't get to do anything yesterday. Anyway, I was going to go on my story and find, the page before the one that I'm working on right now and, tell you what Sean ate for dinner that night because, I said fruit snacks on frozen yogurt, but and two off beef hot dogs and a soda, but I couldn't remember what else. It turns out he had a salad. Let's see if I remembered everything or if. Okay, where'd it go? Besides, I kind of already ate thinking over an important decision. And then he thought of Ashley and thought, she'd probably be panicking. So he adds that it's a good, important decision. Um, it was as healthy as I could make it. Two all beef hot dogs with ketchup, mustard, and relish on whole wheat buns, fries, root beer, salad with ranch dressing, and fruit snacks on frozen yogurt for dessert. So that's what he ate for dinner. And somebody's trying to sell me best viewers again. That bugs the heck out of me because I don't need to buy viewers. Just because I don't have very many doesn't mean that A, they're not good, loyal people, and B, that I, need to buy some. I will get viewers the the legal way or I just won't get them, Um, you know, I would like to get monetized. That would be nice. That would be great. But that's not, like, if I don't get it, I'm not going to have, like, the big sense of regret that I didn't get monetized. It's like, I'll get monetized or I won't. I'm not going to be buying viewers. That feels like human trafficking, sort of. I'm pretty sure that's not what it is, but it feels like it. So, so I'm not going to do it. Besides, I don't have money. I am the wrong person to ask. I think I got $10 in the bank, maybe 8. That's only because, I get paid for every book sale that gets made, and I had, that may be why I'm off of that thing now. Or I hit the limit of getting that much money. But anyway, um, because we were only supposed to get like $567 or something like that out of the whole thing, and I feel like it was well worth it. There was a survey company that just wanted to monitor what you did on your phone. Well, me and my husband were bad examples, I think, because we don't do online shopping. We don't. Mm, well, we do online shopping, but I do it from my computer. But anyway, we don't like do the online shopping every day, and we don't do the we don't maybe like call Brazil every 5 days or something like that, or other countries. Um, I just don't think that we do anything that is very interesting. Like we'd go and get the Xbox points and you know do the Xbox points, maybe play Royal Match every now and then. Um like I don't try to go and play Royal Match like all day, but I will play it for a few hours. Um Actually, I don't even think it lasts an hour usually, because I'll get to that point where I've got no lives left and I gotta wait until the next day, or whatever it is, so I can get another life, so I can try again. Well, yeah, it seems like, okay, so it seems like you try to do it but like 5 times, and you can't do it because it's just too hard. You're supposed to be getting it in like 30 moves or less, and you just can't do it, right? So then, like, you try that one more time, and that's when you beat it because it, like, felt sorry for you. You've already tried it 5 times, and it gives you the win. But that doesn't really feel like a win to me. But it's either that I'm getting smarter at that point, or it's giving me the win. I feel like it's giving me the win, so it's kind of upsetting, but it's okay at the same time. Anyway, like I want to I want to try to get in better shape. And we can't afford a gym membership, so walking to Walmart and back just because we can is going to have to do. But I'm going to want to, you know, like, I like to have a reason for going places. And, we can't always be buying something from Walmart. So it's like, I don't know what I would do. Like, would I just walk over to Walmart and that's it? Would I, like, take the boys over to Home Depot and say, um, these are my helper cats? Because they really are. They're my emotional support kitty cats. So, um, like, if you really care about your cats, they're emotional support anyway. So, um, but Ben has actually been certified, but they're not allowed to ask if you actually have the certification or not. So, that's just like a rule. They're not supposed to ask. But I go and make sure my babies are on leash for one, and harness and leash for one, and for two, they're in a baby stroller. So, so I'd probably take a certain amount of water for myself, probably 4 bottles. And the only problem with that is that I will have to uh, use the facilities before I get home. And I think the library would frown on me bringing in two kitty cats, and then on top of that, I'm pretty sure the casino would also frown on me having two kitty cats. So, yeah. But I want to start doing that. I can't do that during the summer though because it gets too hot. It gets way too hot. Um, I mean, that would probably be the best time to do it because, you're sweating a lot anyway. So, so you're like sweating off the pounds kind of thing. But I don't think that's gonna work. Um, but I like to go over to Walmart because there's a big hill in between us and Walmart. So, it's a good way to get in shape. It's like being on the treadmill, but it's not making me dizzy. Well, I don't know if being on the treadmill would make me dizzy, but it probably would. So, I don't know. Things just make me dizzy, like going around in circles. And I can't handle that. So I can't really handle going to Costco and, being at the front registers too long. Like I like going out and going shopping, making sure that we get the stuff that we need. But then on the other hand, I don't like the ceiling fans. I really don't like the ceiling fans. So, so I'm kind of thinking that they sell those fans. Um, they kind of stand up and look like a humidifier, but they're a fan. Like a air conditioner unit thing. Um, but well, I guess it's a fan, but it blows cold air. Or for the winter time, it blows warm air. I'm thinking that they could come up with something like that, and that would work perfect. And then they wouldn't have to have the ceiling fans. They could have it, like as part of the cash register somehow. But so far they haven't tried to do that. I think because nobody's bothered to um, figure it out. They don't get seasick, so nobody should. I've noticed that with my mother-in-law and my husband, if they're not experience experiencing it, then nobody should be. So, because like I don't know why, but my stomach was having a weirdness. It's the best way I can explain it. I was having a weirdness. Um, what was it, yesterday or the day before that? And I'm like, what is going on here? And we never did figure it out, but he was kind of scoffing it off, like, I don't know I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, well, you don't have to know what's going on. Just, I'm letting you know because we may have to go to the hospital. That was the day I was asking, which side is people's appendix on. And the weird thing is, though, that, okay, most people would say it's on the left, but my brother, it was on the right. So, that was totally weird. And I kind of thought, from from things where they show where the appendix is. I kind of thought it would be in the middle-ish somewhere, middle-ish, somewhere. But anyway, they say it's on the left, and so um, so I'm kind of worried that one of these days mine's gonna go out, but so far it hasn't. And I'm kind of hoping to God that it'll stay that way. But I'm a little bit worried because, if your appendix bursts, you could um, be not alive anymore. So, yeah, I'm just a little worried. But it's not as bad as, like when you're going on a vacation and, you want to go now, 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 but you don't have the reservation until, Monday or whatever. And, yeah. Um, I keep watching Disneyland videos and I'm like, I want to go to Disneyland so bad. I know I'm going to have anxiety. I know that it's not necessarily going to be as fun as it was before. Um, because you have to mobile order your food. You have to either wait in line or pay 25 extra dollars per ride, I think, to get the fast pass thing. I can't think of what it's called right now. Um, anyway, to get the fast pass thing, so you can get on the ride faster, or um, or if you got a wheelchair, they're supposed to go on. It's supposed to be fast pass. I think this is stupid. It's supposed to go on fast pass, and then the wheelchair people, and then the regular people. And I'm like, they waited in line that. First of all, they waited in line that much. They should go first. But yeah, it used to be that anybody in a wheelchair would go first. And I like that because, they've got medical issues. They've got, a reason to go first. So, usually that, it doesn't take too long to get them on the ride and they can get on the ride and do what they need to do. And then, go out of the ride. Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't take that long and it's fine. But now there's the people that, think I paid $187 to get into the park and I need to go on that ride now. And it's something like Space Mountain, Um, but yeah, that they pretty much think that they're the only person in the park, basically, and I don't like that. They shouldn't even have that fast pass thing. They don't call it fast pass anymore, and I cannot for the life of me remember what what the thing's actually called at the moment. But yeah, I don't think they should have that. If you don't like waiting in lines to go on the ride, don't go to the park. And that reservation thing, oh heck no. That is not what Walt envisioned. Walt envisioned anybody walking up to the park that day, just going there on a whim and having a good time, you know? And, um, one of my favorite people to watch for, actually, he's my favorite to watch for Disney content, I think, is they were Provost Park Pass, but nobody could pronounce their last name, so now it's just Park Pass. Anyway, Chris is the guy that you watch on that one, and he tells you fun trivia about the park. He goes in and goes on the rides and shows you the rides, and or at least he used to. He doesn't always do that anymore. He'll show you the food. They'll like if they're going to a new park, they have a popcorn check. Or if Disneyland has a new popcorn for Christmas time or something like that. Um, or if they're just being silly and come up with new popcorn, like blueberry muffin popcorn. They always do a popcorn check. Because apparently Amanda is a popcorn connoisseur just like I am. And, I will tell you if you're a vendor at Costco, I will tell you if you're a vendor anywhere and offering popcorn, I will tell you whether it tastes good or not. Um, there's this one popcorn that the local grocery store was supposed to have. It's, I think, just called movie theater popcorn. And it was pretty good. It was actually pretty good. I liked it. But then also the dollar store has I think it's movie theater popcorn. It might just be buttered popcorn. And it was pretty good too. And certainly a lot cheaper because I think the other bag was at least $5. And all of a sudden they can't get it. As far as my husband's told me, they can't get it anymore. Like the last time he told me about it, um, they got in a complete shipment of the popcorn, but it was all out of date. It was crazy. Okay, so oh dang, I'm sorry, it's 11:15 already. I just realized that. Um, yeah, this is gonna take a little while. 'Cause you gotta take this out and then put that in. So like usual, I want to just finish out this section, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that on stream. It's gonna take, I think, after well after the time that I want to take on it. So, um, so I started to tell you about my books. Okay, so they're for the third time, I think. They're available on Amazon. They ship everywhere where Amazon ships. They are available for free shipping. And they come in hardback, paperback, and ebook. Pirate's Daughter, Misfortune, and Hard Times are each $26 for the ebook. I mean, for the hardback. Sorry, for the hardback. And Esperanza's Party is 24. The Island is 25. Lessons of Love is 27. Coral is not available in hardback. All of my books are $20 for the paperback, except for Coral, which is a wonderful bargain at $6, because I've noticed at the retail stores they are starting out at like $9.99 for a good children's book, and I'm like, what the heck? It's a children's book. They used to be all under $5, even the golden books. It's crazy. But anyway, then Coral is $2.99 for the ebook. Pirate's Daughter and Esperanza's Party are both $3.05 each for the ebook, and all others are $5. If you're watching me on Twitch right now, please follow and chat. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, please like, share, comment, subscribe, notification bell, and please get those valid public watch hours up. Please buy my books. And eventually one of these days, because this week I've been updating it about once a week, I think. This week I have been lax on making sure that the link in the description below is there. But eventually, um, by the end of the week, so by the end of Saturday, I will put each one of the links in the description below. It is literally a copy and paste job. It's just I was trying to finish the book, and that's so much more. I mean, the book chapter. That's so much more copy and pasting than for the link in the description below. So I'd have to go and highlight it all again, and yeah. So that's why I usually don't do it, and I update it about once a week. So anyway, but the links will be there in the description below as soon as I can, and I've even done that for a lot of I don't know if it's all of them, but for a lot of the older videos, like my Disneyland videos, my videos from 2022 and 2023, my videos from 2024. I've been trying to update all of them to have the link in the description below, and I probably will not update them. Like if there's a new book in there, I probably will not update that, but in the newer videos, the update will be there. So like they were not saying Lessons in Love before Lessons in Love came out, because it hadn't come out yet, and then now they do. So, it'll be like in the book where if it's a series, it says, um, in Secrets Can Kill, it says Secrets Can Kill, and, what is the next book? I don't know what the next book is, actually, off the top of my head right now. The only one that's coming to mind is Murder on Ice, but that's number 3. From the Nancy Drew series. So like, it would say Secrets Can Kill, whatever number 2 is, and then Murder on Ice, and so like, it wouldn't say the title of number 4. It's the one where she's working for I think it's a magazine company. And her and Ned are broken up for some reason, and Nancy and Ned are. Oh, okay. Nancy and Ned are broken up for some reason, and he's dating a ballerina, I think. I may be mixing up 2 books, but there is one where they're broken up and he's dating a ballerina, and somebody thinks that the ballerina did it, whatever it was, and because it's not always a murder, or um it's not always a murder. sometimes just a regular crime in there. Um, or like you're trying to find the person, I mean, like Nancy's trying to find the person before the crime um, gets done. Because in Murder on Ice, they are just going to the ski resort for a good ski weekend. And they didn't want to stay at the fancy hotel up the street with with the hot tubs and the, okay, I'll make up some stuff because I can't think anything else that's in there besides the restaurant. Okay, it had a restaurant and I think it had hot tubs and, oh, I know it had hot tubs because, that's where Nancy was at one point in the story. But anyway, they had hot tubs and, restaurant and and an ice skating rink. And maybe they had a movie theater, but I don't think they actually said that. But it's a fancy place. And then the place that um they went there because um they went there to have a good time, and then it turns out that they've got a um they've got a person that is um not being very nice. They wrote the word murderer in the snow. I think it was murderer anyway. Um anyway, they wrote that in the snow, and um he broke the tow line thinking that Luke was going to be the one on there, but it turns out that Luke is actually John. I liked his last name better when it was Luke, because it was easier to say. But because he's like John Bernstein or something like that. And he was going to be on the Olympic ski team, and somebody got jealous and decided that he wasn't going to be on the Olympic ski team. The guy's name was Michael, I want to say. Um, and everybody thought it was Gunther for a while there, but it ended up being Michael. But anyway, um, it was Gunther's cousin that died years ago, and it because they were doing a race. They liked racing against each other for fun, and it ended up being a dark night, and um the because I can't think of his name, the one that died was uh yeah, I think he was Gunther's cousin, and but he would they were all part of the Olympic ski team, and or or they were hoping to be part of the Olympic ski team. Anyway, they could only have a certain number of people, and Michael was like second from he was the second one to get cut, or the second one from being, yeah, he was like the second one. um like they had their, I'll say 10 people, and he was number 12. So he had to get rid of number 11, and then he had to get rid of number 10. Well, it turns out John has a skiing injury from that, and it turns out that uh, Michael did something I I don't remember what, but Michael did something to make that skiing injury happen. So, also, like, it was either John and the other guy, the guy that got unalived, were best friends, or Michael and the guy were best friends. But anyway, he decided to blame it on John, and um, the thing was that he did it the whole time. So, um, but but I said all that to say that say that like the ones that just say secrets can kill and the second title, I wouldn't go back and update all of those because there's over 2,000 videos. But I wouldn't go necessarily back and update all of those to also say Murder on Ice. But with my books, of course, it would be Pirate's Daughter, Misfortune, Hard Times, Esperanza's Party, The Island, Lessons in Love, and Coral. So the new videos that are coming out will, have a complete list according to that time frame. And every time I bring out a new book, I do update the list. So, like maybe in 2026, it only goes up to Lessons in Love, but in 2027, it'll say Test in Love. Although I think Test in Love is going to come out this year. Pretty sure. I've only got 178 pages left. They should be able to be done pretty quickly. That means I mean, like, if I could stick to that schedule, 17 days and I'm done. Well, 18. And I'm done. But I don't think I'm going to be able to stick to that schedule. Especially since, like, 4th of July is coming up. We're going to go on to see the fireworks. I know you're going, aren't you making fireworks right now? Yeah, but I like to see the real thing. Well, I guess we're going till noon today. I didn't want to do that, but this is taking forever. Okay. Anyway, it's taking forever, and eventually it will be done, and then I can concentrate more on my story, I think. The thing is that I would rather get on here. I mean, get on there and work on my story for, at least 3 hours when I get up, and I end up doing this because if I don't do this first thing in the morning, I won't do it, you know? So then I won't have content and you'll stop watching me. It's just a fact. It's going to happen. So I want to go and, want to go and make it to where I've got content. So I'm supposed to do this from 8 to 11, but I said, it says 8 to noon on Twitch. I think it says 8 to noon on Twitch because oh, I need to take Zoo Tycoon out of that list. Put in something else. So I've got Clue. And I've got Monopoly Madness, but I don't know if I'm gonna, like, keep that one, because, I thought I was gonna be able to keep the building, and then they can go and steal it, so it doesn't work. And it's set up different. I wanted to play the actual game Monopoly, but I can't find that anywhere. But I wasn't able to find Clue either until recently, so I was like, "Ooh, I'm getting that!" And I had to get my 1 month Game Pass with my Game Pass points, and so I was a little upset about that, but it works. Anyway, I had to get my Game Pass with my points, and then I had 40 dollars, and the Game Pass was only $30. So I was like, yeah, so I can get both. I found Clue before I turned in the points, and I knew it was only like $5 because it was on sale, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting that. Okay, so next time I have money, I'm gonna have to put it on my Microsoft account somehow, but I want to get maybe some DLCs for I want to get some DLCs for Clue because they've got the Tudor Mansion, but then they've also got um Nor Place or Nor Mansion or something like that, and a couple of others. So eventually I want to be able to collect the whole thing, but there's probably going to be another DLC coming out this year. Yeah. There's probably another DLC coming out this year for Dreamlight Valley, so I gotta think of that too. They're usually $30, and yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. You go and buy the game for whatever price that is. I think it was $30, $40, something like that. And then I kind of want to go and buy it, even though I got it for free from Gameloft. I kind of want to buy it, so then Xbox understands that I own it. Because right now it thinks that it's on Game Pass, and that's how I got the game, and that's not true. I got it from them for free because, basically they gave it to the first like 100 people who bought the game before before it actually released. And I think they did that so we could be test dummies. And that's not a nice way to put it, but yeah, I think they did that so we could be test dummies and find all the glitches, all the little problems with the game. One of the problems I had, I know I've told you about this a million times, but one of the problems I had was that you've got Xbox achievements, and one of the achievements was to harvest 4,500 vegetables. And so that became a series for a little bit there. I mean, literally, it became a series because I was everything that identified as a vegetable, I was growing. I was growing in the game, and oh, well, we're done, huh? Okay, anything, anything that identified as a vegetable, I was growing in the game, and 4,500 times. Actually, I think I started doing it 5,000 times just to make sure, you know. Um, so I went and told them at one point, look at my channel. Look at my channel. Because I've got the evidence right there that I did all of these 4,500 times. I had one patch that was 1,000 and one patch that was 500. And for me, that was a lot at the time. Um, But yeah, I had literally 4,500. So I was going on there and I'm like, okay, this is 1,000, this is 2,000, this is 3,000, this is 4,000, and then that's 500. And yeah, so I went through all of them. They ended up, because I went through every single one of them that identified as a vegetable, and I think I even tried to do some fruit just in case it was like messed up somehow, and you know, thinking fruit, but I got that really quick too. So they're like, you know, they were kind of treating me like I was dumb for a while there. The vegetables in Wally's garden don't count for that, right? You know that, right? And it's like, yeah, I understand because that wasn't making the number go up. But then all of a sudden, nothing was making the number go up, and it's like, okay, that I've got 4,500 vegetables. I know that I've got that, and it was like 6 months into the game that I was trying to get this, so I should have had that already. I mean, I should have totally had that already, and I just didn't. So anyway, they ended up giving me the thing that I was supposed to get for the I got the I got the participation checked off for the Xbox award, and they gave me like an extra house. Oh no, I mean an extra achievement and something else. So they gave me like two of the achievements and one more thing just to make sure I would keep playing. I felt really bad when I got that. When I got the extra achievements, I just wanted the one. The house. Because you're supposed to get 30 houses to get the other achievement. And it's like, that'll happen. That'll happen one of these days. It'll be fine. But yeah, they gave me that one and I think something else. I can't think of what it is right now, but pretty sure there was one more thing. And don't worry, I'm not gonna make you wait until the thing's done. But I really like talking on these, and I love it when people leave comments and maybe ask me questions about the game. And I mean, you can learn everything about the game from my gameplay, watching my videos. You can learn everything that you need, except for how to get the rainbow fox, because I haven't figured that out yet. There's actually a few. Uh, I didn't think so, but there's actually, like at least five companions I don't have yet. Well, there might be four now. Because I was like, oh, there's Mochi. I need to get Mochi. I didn't know how to say it at the time, though. I had to watch a Suro video to find out how to say it, because I am not a big fan of Big Hero 6. I'm sorry, the robot thing just looks like a big marshmallow to me, and it just wasn't important to me. It didn't grab me like Cinderella and Robin Hood and Snow White and Aristocats and Frozen, Tangled. It just didn't appeal to me. Um, Not saying it's a bad movie. I just it didn't appeal to me. So so I had to watch a Suro video to find out. Oh, it's Mochi. Okay, okay, cool. Because for a little bit there, I was like, well, is it like Moochie and they just misspelled it? Or, um, yeah, I didn't know how to say it. So I'm pretty sure I explained that. And yeah, that's what happened. Anyway, so I better get off of here. Or at least let y'all go. So as soon as I get down to the other end, um, yeah, because I gotta get lunch and I gotta work on my story and, because I call it a story before it's in book form. Because, I figure a book has binding pages, paper, Oh, that would be pages. Anyway, has, covers, all that stuff. And then the story is, why you're reading the book. So, yeah. Um, this is taking forever. Um, I'm sure I could get the story done. Okay, I don't want to wait that long, but I could get the story done. Um, like, I think I will get this barrier block thing done before the end of the day today. I think. I'm not sure because there's still trees involved. Um, but yeah. So anyway, before I find another excuse to, uh, to not stop the stream, I will see you in the next stream or video.